this was definitely an epic match. You know, Tainan came out and showed why he's Tainan Dalpra, to be honest. Rene had his moments for sure, almost took his back in it, but overall, you know, Tainan is just that guy as well. Undefeated on Who's Number One.
Undefeated on Who's Number One, in the middle of his Grand Slam campaign. Such a rock star in Costa Mesa. You know what I mean? He walks out there with an aura like he is getting just powered up by being in front of this home crowd and being in front of so many of his students. Kind of the first guy. He was the first guy to go through this AOJ program and kind of set the standard and set the expectation and culture. He's been so important to that school that you go to Costa Mesa, you just have to have Tainan Dalpra on. Rene, super game. Like we've said before, not a lot of people super excited to face a guy like Tainan Dalpra. Rene is always game to fight everybody. And scrapped around in this match. But yeah, Tainan's just that guy.
100%.
Yeah, I gotta love, Rene's just kind of like go for it attitude. You talk to him beforehand. He's another guy who was confident, beforehand as well. He was feeling good. Obviously, having Zach Meslani in his corner, like you were talking about last time, Trey. I do feel like that type of thing does give these guys a lot of confidence and stuff like that. Or Zach does give these guys a lot of confidence. And yeah, just awesome to see Rene go out there and just try to take it to Tainan too. Like he wasn't going out there to win a decision or anything like that. He was trying to take Tainan's head off or his wrist off.
For sure. Yeah, Kainan's got this like sneaky mega wrap going on his hand for sure.
Yeah, he tried this a number of times.
I was wondering if he was going to go to the Peruvian necktie. I feel like we've seen Tainan hit some Peruvian neckties. Obviously, he ends up going to a guillotine, but I was wondering. I was like, man, is he going to try and shoot a Peruvian necktie on Rene Nogi? But
yeah, it feels like they're working that front headlock a lot because like he was going for that front headlock stuff. He was working some Darces and obviously the finish.
It's kind of like, I feel like New Wave is one of the like original main teams where you see whenever one guy kind of at the highest stage of New Wave is doing a technique, you kind of see that trickling all the way throughout the team. They're very focused on like setting the new like meta of what everyone's doing in jiu-jitsu. I think AOJ is kind of in that territory now also, because if you watch like even Icaro in the first match of the night, he does a lot of this same stuff that Tainan was doing, especially with the front headlocks and everything, where I was like, oh, damn, okay. So there's like, this is all the way through. This isn't just like Tainan's doing this technique, or even like Kolabate, the way he sits back on heels to use it to either like capture the heel hook or then pass off of it if they turn their heel. Zach Kainana was doing that exact same thing to Isaac Cordova. So it's like, all right, they got
a system in place.
Yeah, they have their specific, kind of things they're hitting that's kind of,
here's the headlock
we see them first at the Tainan, Kolabate type of guys, but then you notice, like, as you watch more and more of their dudes, that they're all kind of hitting this stuff. But super gnarly angle right here.
100%. I also just think front headlocks are very in right now.
Yeah.
You look at, like, Atos has been just crushing with the front headlock, and I think that, you look at even, like, Pedigo guys have been crushing with the front headlock. I just think the front headlock is very in right now because it's harder and harder to just heel hook everybody. You know what I mean? So people are going to the other end of the body and finding a lot of success there.
Can we see the moment earlier in the match there where
Rene almost takes his back?
Yeah, where Rene tries to go for the back, almost does.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of trying to skim through this.
Yeah, no worries.
That's all right. It's off of like an arm triangle or something, right? Or like a some sort of choke.
Rene really was taking it to him, like going
he's
for
pushing
takedowns
forward. Like he's not afraid to mix it up in there, man. You got to appreciate that.
Trying to remember when this happened.
It's like we get to see good jiu-jitsu, and that's all I want to see is good jiu-jitsu. Oh,
yeah, big throw attempt there.
And that's kind of like one of Rene's things too. He's good at that, like wizard kick.
Couple big, surprisingly big boys as well.
Yeah, Rene. Every time I see Rene, I feel like he looks bigger and bigger. I'm like, damn, bro.
Where are we at here?
We got to chat with Rene after the match for quite a while. He was in good spirits.
Surprisingly, Tainan not as in great spirits after the match. He was a little down on his performance when we interviewed him after. He was talking about how he just felt like he was not able to really show everything that he has been in the gym, and he wasn't able to make that translate out onto the mats. And he was a little bit more of like, man, I just got to go and work on so much stuff. He was kind of in that mode a lot more than celebrating his performance, which I feel like he has done with a couple of his WNO matches in the past.
Kind of makes you wonder, what the hell is this guy doing in the gym?
Must just be
it's like, I don't know, Tiny. You kind of showed a lot of pretty incredible stuff.
Must just be absolutely womp smashing people.
Yeah. I think it was before this. I think it was before he took Renee's back, but that's all right. The full match is available on FloGrappling.com. If you guys want to see it all in its entirety, go to FloGrappling.com. The full replay is available now. You can obviously watch it. And, maybe if everyone's nice in the comments, we'll drop some of these matches on the YouTube soon. But you got to be nice to me.
But it is definitely crazy and worth noting that, just 2 weeks ago, he was in the gi fighting, Andy Murasaki in the finals of the European Championships, and he obviously won that. So to think that he was just, 2 weeks ago training super hard for the gi and for the best gi matches in the world, and he's able to just take the gi off here and have a great match at Who's Number One. Like, that's not a lot of people are doing that right now, for sure. So you got to give it a big hat tip to Tainan. He's elevating himself kind of, head and shoulders above a lot of people out there.
So same question for as we had for Pato, but for Tainan. Where does Tainan go next, I feel like Tainan's now, I know he was playing coy about the title and everything. I know Jonathan Gracie's on AOJ now. He holds the 185 WNO title, so that makes it a little complicated. But I feel like Tainan's he should be there soon, right? Like, he should be competing for a WNO title or in kind of like another one of the biggest potential super fights in Who's Number One history. So I don't know. What do you guys got thoughts on where Tainan should go next? What should happen with Tainan on Who's Number One?
I mean, you talk about one of the biggest fights that we can make. I think obviously that fight's going to be Mika, right? That's the first fight that you have to think about with him. If we could get Tainan and Mika to meet up at some point this year, that would be absolutely epic, and I would love to see that. There's still other big matches. He kind of talks about he doesn't want to fight for the title right now because he feel like that kind of can almost limit your options and what you can do as a kind of freelance grappler.
A gun for hire.
Yeah, pretty much. I still think there's some good matches. If not Mika, I think somebody like an Isaac might be a cool matchup for him, and there could be a nice amount of action there. Just trying to set up matches against the best guys in the world. I feel like that adjustment period for him to become one of the best guys in the world at no-gi in his weight class, he's there. You know what I mean? He's done it. So it's time to start making these real meaningful matchups.
I love that match, Tainan versus Isaac. That'd be such a sick match. That one sounds pro. But yeah, obviously, the Mika match is out there. We got to see these guys throw down.
I know,
before it's all said and done. I know they've had one. They had one little match.
5 minutes.
Yeah, back in the day in the gi, I believe. But man, we got to see Mika and Tainan
that was that
one day.
EUG?
I believe so, yeah.
Some small little kind of Grand Prix thing they were doing round robin style.
Yeah, that definitely feels like the one one of the super fights that's just kind of hanging over the jiu-jitsu community. It's feels like we're constantly getting teased with is it going to happen? Is it not? And just keeps not working out perfectly. I think to throw another name in the mix for kind of a lot of these guys that would just add a sick element, in my opinion, is Jansen Gomez.
True.
We've talked about Jansen before. It's man, when it comes to not overexposing yourself, Jansen's kind of the king of that. He pops in.
That's one way to put it. Yeah,
it's hell yeah, dude. Jansen's in the mix. This is so sick. Anytime Jansen's out there, I'm glued to it. It's Jansen is a captivating grappler. I love watching Jansen. But man, seeing him more in no-gi and on WNO, in the mix with a lot of these guys in this 185 weight class and stuff. I'm not sure exactly what Jansen weighs these days. Surely he'd be around that.
In the gi, 195 is usually where he's competing, but I think he could drop a little lower for the right matchup.
That would create so many more sick matches, and I do think Tainan versus Jansen, no-gi, WNO.
In Costa Mesa?
Oh my God.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
The checkmate AOJ, just rivalry. Battle going on. That would be super sick.
Super intense.